Hello everybody! In today's video, we're going to be unboxing 4 pieces of rolling stock that we purchased off of the Rails of Sheffield website. So Rails of Sheffield is a UK-based model railroading entity, I'll say, because they have a brick and mortar store and they also have a strong online presence. And their online shopping, has an enormous amount of stock. And so we've done some shopping on Rails of Sheffield before, and we've been really happy with the items that we've bought. Now, we bought these 4 pieces of rolling stock on May 19th, and it arrived at our door like, a week later, coming all the way from the UK. So that's pretty good service. We've always been happy. So so let's dive right in. I'll just give a quick overview of the 4 pieces of rolling stock we'll be looking at. So the first one is from Dapple. We have a ventilated van, British Railways gray, and the car number is M183326. Next up is a Hornby British Railways twin vent van, numbered S49186. And then we have a Southeastern and Chatham Railways diagram 1426 covered van in departmental brown, and a Southeastern and Chatham Railways, also a diagram 1426 covered van, but this one is in departmental black. So so let's get to some unboxing. All right, let's start off with the Dapple British Railways gray ventilated van. All of this rolling stock is in OO gauge so that we can run it on our HO layout. I think this is our first piece of Dapple rolling stock. And there's just a quick look there. It's got some pretty decent detail on it for a relatively inexpensive piece of rolling stock. But we'll throw it up on the turntable and we'll take a closer look. All right, so taking a detailed look at the Dapple British Railways ventilated van in gray. This was the piece of rolling stock that cost about 8 pounds, almost 9 pounds. So again, the lowest price point of this haul here. But this piece of rolling stock has some great detail. You can see here the door detail, the framing, the bracing, the door latch there. None of this is functional. It's just kind of stamped into the plastic, but it just looks fantastic. So you can see the planking, some of the brake mechanics down here. These pieces of rolling stock have steel wheels, so they'll sound great on the track, but you can see some of the suspension detail down here. And we do have some markings here, so this is the car number down here, M183326, and then you see some other markings over here on the right. But it looks a really, really good looking car here. Why don't we give it a spin? If I didn't mention it, the car's about 4 inches long. All right, and looking from the back here again, you can see some of this horizontal structure back here, which looks pretty good. It's got a single vent right kind of in the center of the at the top center, and it's got everything on the bottom is black plastic on the kind of chassis, I guess. You've got the hook and loop coupler down here, and then you've got the black buffer pads and all that, all in black plastic. So yeah, it's a pretty good looking car. You get kind of a very shallow kind of curved roof there. And that is kind of in a, looks like it's in a pretty glossy gray plastic. But you'll see that more from the top. But there's a view from one end. Let's give it a spin. All right, looking at the wagon from this side, it's identical to the opposite side here. It's the same door structure, nice framing, door hardware, latches and so forth stamped into the plastic, some nice diagonal bracing and vertical bracing, and then the numbers and so forth on the side are the exact same brake mechanics and suspension and so forth. So yeah, it looks good. Let's look at the opposite end. All right, opposite end is identical to the other end. So we got that center top ventilation feature here, and then again this kind of horizontal structure on the back end. And yeah, hook and loop coupler, black buffer pads, exactly identical to the opposite end. So let's look at the top and the bottom. All right, looking from the top here, you can see that there are 4 vents, it looks like, on the top of that roof there. And then you can see that there is a gutter feature that runs along the top of the door there. We're looking down, of course. And that'll shed water off of the roof on either side of the door, so people working in the door don't get wet. But yeah, there's a view from the top. Nothing too exciting, but yeah, just to give you a shot of that. All right, and looking from the bottom here, you can see it's got the nice metal wheels. You can see kind of the bottom view of the braking mechanics there. Again, nothing functional. It's just all it's kind of stamped into the plastic. You've got your hook and loop couplers at either end. And then you get a nice big screw there in case you want to separate the chassis from the body. That's really kind of the most distinguishing feature. And then you've got some manufacturing information stamped down there on the bottom. But yeah, nothing too exciting, but just to give you a view of the bottom. And there it is. Okay, next up is the Hornby British Rails Twin Vent Van. And this piece of rolling stock went for about 16.5 pounds British. Give you a look at the box there. The packaging is pretty basic here. I do like this Hornby packaging. It's all pretty tightly bound up in this kind of plastic kind of blister pack, you know, so it's pretty sturdy packaging. And then basically you just flip over one of the ends and the whole thing just folds away, so that you don't have to struggle pulling the piece of rolling stock or locomotive or whatever out of that plastic. But yeah, great packaging. So there's a quick look. One thing I noticed right off the bat on this particular piece of rolling stock is that that roof is in a flat gray. A lot of times these the rolling stock, it's kind of in a glossy finish, but this is flat. Looks good. All right, let's throw it on the turntable and give it a look. So yeah, so this is a pretty nice looking van as well. You can see here it's got the kind of horizontal planking here, and you can see it has a double door. Supposedly or hypothetically, those would each slide to the left and the right there to open up the main opening there. And you've got a big variety of bracing here. You've got this vertical bracing, diagonal bracing. You've got these nice corner bracings here on either side. And then you've got the same kind of brake work down here, metal wheels there. And then you've got some graphics here. So this particular piece of rolling stock is numbered 49186. And you can see that down there in the lower corner there. And then this has a nice flat, flat gray colored roof. And it's nice contrast between the brown and the gray. It's a good looking van. Looks different enough from the Dapple van that we just looked at, or wagon we just looked at. So they have different characteristics. Should be interesting, to run them together on the railroad. Should look nice. Hook and loop couplers on either end. And everything down here is black plastic, except the wheels metal. Everything, chassis wise is black plastic, including the buffer posts and pads and the coupler. So let's give it a spin. All right, looking from the back here, you can see again, very nice horizontal planking back here. You've got that nice corner bracing and then this vertical bracing here. And you can see the two vents, one on each side, these bilateral vents here, which I assume gives it its name of the twin vent van. So so this is a pretty cool looking piece of rolling stock. Give you a look at that, and let's give it another turn. Now we don't have to spend too much time on this side here because it's an exact, exact replica or exact copy of the opposite side. Looks exactly the same. So same type of thing here. What I do find interesting is that these planks on the walls of this piece of rolling stock, they're different heights. It kind of gives it this kind of, used look and kind of put together with different size pieces of plank, almost like in haste. Maybe not, but that's kind of the way it strikes me. But it's a good looking piece of rolling stock. Let's give it a final turn. Yep, and again on the back here, identical to the opposite end, you got the twin vents back here, that vertical bracing, different kind of heights of planks back here, like on the side, kind of makes it very interesting to look at, I think. Then it's got this little shallow curved roof there. So nothing new on this end, same as the opposite end, but there you go. So let's take a look at the top and the bottom. All right, so looking at the roof here, there's really not a ton to see up here. There's hardly anything to see up here. It's just kind of a flat gray. It's almost like a greenish gray to me. Maybe it's the lighting, but it looks kind of greenish gray. But it's flat, kind of a flat color, which is a little bit different than what we usually see. We usually see the glossy plastic roofs, but there's no ventilation features. On the edge of the roof, there's this little, again, kind of this gutter work there. If you can see that in the camera, I'm not sure the camera will pick it up. I hope it does. But again, kind of little detail there of the gutter work on the roof. All right, let's take a look at the bottom. All right, looking at the bottom here, there's not a whole lot to see. Not a ton of like modeling detail down here. And by modeling, I mean it doesn't look like what the bottom of an actual wagon would look like. It's just stamped plastic on the bottom with the manufacturer information. But metal wheels. Everything else is plastic. But just to give you a little view there. Okay, and last up is the second Southeastern and Chatham Railways Diagram 1426 covered van, and this is the one that's in departmental brown. That's the color there. And again, this is the same price as the other Rapido wagon, and it was 23 pounds. Yeah, the Rapido boxes are a little bit more informative, I think, than the other two boxes. Seems like Rails of Sheffield would be a fun store to visit if we ever get over to the UK, I think I'll try to, or we'll try to get over there and take a look around. 10-ton covered goods wagon. This UK rolling stock is so much fun to look at. Very interesting. These planked wagons are very cool. All right, there's a first look, and we'll get it on the turntable and take it for a detailed look. So this is a pretty nice looking piece of rolling stock as well. I mean, all of these are really good. And by the way, this is, again, the piece of rolling stock that is the highest in price point here at about 23.5 pounds. So this and the departmental black Rapido, same price. Those were the most expensive ones in this haul, followed by the Hornby, and then followed by the Dapple wagon. So yeah, great for the price point here. You get a lot of detail here. You've got the little graphics down here. I think I'd have to get a magnifying glass in there to be able to read what that says there, but you know, nice detail here. Nice door detail with the you know, with the bracing around the frame and also the latch work here in the center. It's yeah, just fantastic to look at. And then you've got this vertical bracing here, and you can see some nice bolt work in there, which is nice. Diagonal brace work, and then the plank work, of course. And you can see the plank work on, oh yeah, they're the same height. Yeah, so great detail, metal wheels like the other pieces of rolling stock, and then the black plastic chassis down here with the brake mechanics and so forth, and the suspension. So looks really good. Let's give it a turn. All right, and looking at the back of one of the ends of this wagon here, you can see again kind of the vertical bracing down here, and you can see some nice bolt work in there, the corner bracing, and then that center vent right there at the top of the wagon, and then you've got the curved gray roof. And of course the chassis, like the other ones, are all black plastic with your hook and loop coupler, and then your two buffers there in black, buffer pads and posts in black. So yeah, this is a good look at one end. Let's give it a spin. All right, and looking at the opposite side here, it's identical to the other side, so we're not going to spend a lot of time in here, but you know, we'll just give it a full spin here, and you can just take in all sides. But yeah, nothing new over here to show you, just completely identical to the opposite side. So we'll just keep going around. And again, the opposite end is the same as the other end here. Center vent, vertical bracing, plank work, and you know, the buffer pads and hook and loop coupler. But again, just to give you a look at all sides, just so you can check it out. So yeah, let's take a look at the top and the bottom. All right, so looking from the top here, this is just a flat gray roof. There's no real detail up here. There's really nothing really to see up here. There's no vent work or anything like that. But if you kind of tip it here a little bit, you'll see at the bottom of the roof, he's holding it upside down just so you can see it, but there's some gutter work there that goes just over the door, and you might be able to see that from these various different angles here. Hopefully the light will catch it and you'll see it. But yeah, there's the top. Nothing too exciting, but just to give you a view, let's take a look at the bottom. All right, looking at the bottom, this piece of rolling stock here has a little bit more detail than the other ones. Normally I'm used to saying that there's no modeling detail on the bottom of these because it's normally just the manufacturer stamping and things like that. But now you can see some extra linkage here across the bottom, presumably for the brakes. We get the metal wheels, and then you can see some plank work there and some bracing at the bottom. So again, for the price point, reminder, there's 23 plus pounds here for these two Rapidos, each for these two Rapidos. And they have a little bit extra detail down there. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. That's a good view. All right, next up is the first of two Rapido Southeastern and Chatham Railway Diagram 1426 covered van, and this is the one that's in departmental black. Now these are the most expensive pieces of rolling stock out of the haul here. These are about 23 pounds each. The departmental black here and the departmental brown are basically the same piece of rolling stock, except just two different colors. So essentially this one and the next Rapido are the same. But give you a look at the box there. Nice Union Jack there on the box. And you can see the box says Rapido Trains UK. This one is packaged nice too, very similar to the Hornby. Might be the same packaging actually. Oh, comes with a little insert. So it gives you a little catalog here of some of their products to look at, maybe their new products, and then a little history on this 10-ton wagon here. So pretty nice. Learn a little history along the way. All right, again, looks like it's got lots of detail on it. But there's a first look. All right, let's get it on the turntable and take a look. We're just going to do a quick spin here because we just did the brown one in detail. These are the exact same pieces of rolling stock. So we're just going to go ahead and give this a spin just so you can get a good look at this. We don't need to look at the top and bottom of this because it's identical to the last one we just looked at. I hope this is bright enough to see. I mean, this car being black, there's may not show up too well on camera. We've had a couple of folks comment that some of our videos seem dark. Believe it or not, we've got 4 bright lights on this, so we may have to investigate different camera settings that might let in a little bit more light. But hopefully you can see the detail on this black wagon here. All right, so before we take it out and run it on the layout, I just wanted to point out the differences in the ends here, just to get them all in the same shot so you can see the differences. Now these two cars are the same. These are the two Rapidos, so these are going to be identical. But you can see here just the differences in the end. This is divided into thirds with the bracing, with the single centered vent. This one has the horizontal structures there with the single with the single vent, and then this one has the twin vents, and it's divided in thirds with the bracing and all that. So thought it might be interesting just to see those just side by side in the same shot, so you can see the variety that these wagons have. All right, and then just one more shot here of all the sides. Now we only have 3 of the cars in the shot here because 2 of the cars are the same anyway, so we just removed the departmental black version of the Rapido here. But you can see here, just for fun, that the different door structures and the different details on the side here. You know, I look at these wagons a lot, and to me, oftentimes they just look all the same. But, you know, you get 3 different versions here, like right in front of your eyes, and you can see that there's such a variety of just these basic wagons that you can get that all have unique, different looks to them. So makes things interesting. All right, so let's get our new rolling stock out on the layout and see how they look.